Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah, our Father, and Yahusha. He is the Mashayah, the one that carries the burden of Yah, his voice, our high priest, soon coming king. Hear, O Yesharo, Yahuwah, our mighty one. He is one. This is Brother David coming to you again to bring you breaking news inside Arabia. Saudi Arabia looks for a peace deal in Yemen. This is big news. It shows us how close we are to our deliverance. I'll show you the prophecies that are attached to this. But brothers and sisters, they're trying to get out of this war in Yemen, without losing face. Mohammed bin Salman does not want to be embarrassed by losing this war. So he's trying to pay the people off. He said that he would give them $3 billion to rebuild, to help with their economy. Why all of a sudden now? Well, they were in the midst of starting their new vision that they have for Saudi Arabia. They want to turn Saudi Arabia into a tourist attraction. And they were having their first big race there, a Grand Prix, when the Houthi rebels from Yemen launched drones, missiles, inside of Saudi Arabia, blew up one of their oil installations and some other places, hit the United Arab Emirates with rockets. This was unsettling. They were not safe. They had to reassure the tourists, the people that came to see the race, everything is okay. So he decided from here, let's try to make peace with the Houthi rebels. Now that we're in the middle of Ramadan, let's see if we can make peace, and we'll offer them some money. This is what you should pay attention to, brothers and sisters. While we are so busy watching white fears and white tears in Ukraine, this is the real deal. This is in the promised land. This is in your Bible. All of the prophecies point here, not in Ukraine. This young man, Mohammed bin Salman, who is the 8th king, you see the big picture, his father, that is the 7th king. You'll read it all in Revelation. They are ruling together. And Mohammed bin Salman is the one who has headed up this coalition against Yemen. He pulled together 10 nations, 10 Arab nations. Unheard of, unprecedented. Never before have the Arab nations came together to fight as one. But he was able to pull this off. Now it's falling apart. He told them that we'll be in this war for just a few months. This few months has turned into 8 years. The world is looking at them and said that they have created the largest humanitarian crisis in the world, that they are committing genocide against the children of Yemen. They are looked at as a pariah on the world stage. Even President Biden called Mohammed bin Salman himself a pariah. So now the nations, that have joined themselves to Mohammed bin Salman in this proxy war against Yemen are changing their mind. UAE has walked away from this. Qatar, they're not a part of it. The United States of America has pulled back. They say we don't want to be seen as committing genocide against the children in Yemen. Everything has come together just like the book says that it would. Let me show you the first prophecy. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 1 to 3. Verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahuwah so cometh as a thief in the night. It's going to be just one day. And those who are not on watch will be blindsided by this event. The sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give its light. Verse 3, here's the prophetic word. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. They're looking for peace. 8 years they've been bombing these people. Now they're looking for peace. They look like pariahs on the world stage. Genocidal maniacs. It's interrupting this vision that he had for Saudi Arabia. Daniel chapter 7, verses 20 to 22. Verse 20, another prophecy. And of the 10 horns that were in his head. In whose head? The beast. That beast nation. And of the other which came up. There's one king ruling, the 7th king, King Solomon. Here another comes up, the 8th king, his son. And before whom 3 fell. There were 3 men in line of succession for the throne if the father dies. They got rid of all 3. Even, indeed, of that horn that had eyes. This is the son, the one which just came up, and a mouth that spake very great things. He boasted that he was going to build a city in the desert. It's going to be a tourist attraction. He was going to bring his people on the world stage. They were going to have discos, clubs, bars, just like the Western nations. And all of this was going to happen with billions of dollars, whose look was more stout than his fellows. He had a lot more weight than the rest of them. Take a look at him. Verse 21. And I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints. The saints are in Yemen, and prevailed against them. Look at the sequence. Verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came. The time frame is 3.5 years. They've been at war with Yemen for 8 years. They're trying to get out. Any time now, you'll see our master coming in the clouds. And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Psalms 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people. Okay. So we know he's talking about his people. Question: who are his people? If you said the children of Yesharel, the only people whom he's chosen in this book, the only name that comes out of his mouth, then you are right. The praise of all his saints. Yahuwah has his saints, and the world has their saints. You see, the world makes their saints, like Pope John Paul. He died. They made him into a saint, you know. And I forgot the name of the lady who used to feed the poor. They made her into a saint. But when it comes to the children of Yesharel, the saints in which Yahuwah has chose, it's a bloodline. You have to be born into it. You cannot be appointed. Even. See the word even? It's an old English word. It means indeed. Of the children of Yesharel. It's the only people that he chose. Those are the only saints. I know you said there's Israel there. That is the replacement name. Remember, they will not give you the truth or the right names. They cannot anyway. Psalms 83, that all these nations together were to make sure that the name of Yah, Shah, Yesharel, would no more be in remembrance. So the name that they've given you here is the replacement name for replacement people. A people near unto him, the children of Yesharel, his saints, his people. Praise ye Yahuwah. That's hallelujah. Or halal. Yahuwah. The saints are the children of Yesharel. You cannot use that term to apply to any other group of people. Only the children of Yesharel. Now that you know who the saints are, the marginal people. There's your link. According to Yemen's official statistics, the number of marginalized Akdam is estimated between 500,000 and 3,500,000. They are vulnerable to preventable diseases because of poverty and unsanitary living conditions. Have you heard of parallel, which means likened unto? Aren't they likened unto us? They found here in this country that the African Americans, they said, are vulnerable to preventable diseases because of poverty and unsanitary living conditions, and no access to health care. Same as the people in Yemen. You will find this about our people in every country in which we've been scattered. Hey, we live in the most powerful and richest country in the world. How is it that even in this day, 2022, we are still likened unto the brothers and the sisters that are in Yemen? The death rate from preventable diseases within the underrepresentative group is worse than the nationwide average in Yemen. Isn't that the same as here? When the coronavirus hit, heart disease, and all other diseases, that our numbers is higher than the rest of the people that are in the United States? It's the same as those who are in Yemen. And they are the minority. Hold on 1 second. So are we. Furthermore, many marginalized children suffer from diseases such as dyspnea, malaria, and polio, and the death rate is high. Isn't that the same as us? They told us all of these things when the coronavirus hit. That's when they realized that we were underrepresented group, didn't have health care, our living conditions were unsanitary, that our people were impoverished. They realized all of these things. Are they going to do something about it? Of course not. But they realized it. And the reason they realized it is because we were dying at a higher rate than the Europeans or any other group. All Akdam. There's your link. Remember, they brought up this phrase that they called these marginalized people all Akdam. Akdam, or Akdam, Arabic, listen what it means. The servants. What is the servant called here in America? A slave. I told you the parallel. It's uncanny. Singular, kadim, meaning servant in Arabic. Also called al muhammashin, Arabic. It means the marginalized ones. Are an Arabic-speaking ethnic group who live in Yemen. Did you catch that? They're an Arabic-speaking ethnic group who live in Yemen. What are you? You're an English-speaking ethnic group that live in America and all over the world. You have no identity except for that. Although the Akdams are Arabic-speaking Muslims, just like most of the Yemenis. Let me stop for a second. Although these African American slaves, servants, are English-speaking Christians, just like most other Americans. Do you see we take on the identity of the country in which we were scattered? We've lost our own. They are considered to be at the very bottom of the supposedly abolished caste ladder. They're at the bottom of the totem pole, just like we are in every country that we've been scattered to. But the Father said he was going to take the low things, the ones that are at the bottom, the low things of this world, to confound. They're going to confuse the wise. When they hear me speak, they get confused. They go into cognitive dissonance. They try to dismiss with what I'm saying. You can dismiss it all you want to. It's still true. They are socially segregated and are mostly confined to menial jobs in the country's major cities. We were segregated too. Martin Luther King came and fought for that. Still was segregated. Who lives in the projects? According to the official estimates, the Akdam numbered between 500,000 and 3,500,000 individuals. Okay, so we have confirmation, we have two witnesses, and we're speaking about the same exact ethnic group that have no real identity, just like us. Our identity started in 1619. They don't have a date. Here they are. All Akdam, the servants, the marginalized people. Some of them are the children of Yisharel. Do you see the men with the lighter skin in the first picture? They're probably from an NGO, non-governmental organization, bringing food to the servants. Do you see any white skin in the crowd? No. Remember what it says. They are the lowest. Yahuwah has chosen the low things of this world to confound the wise. If only they would return to the commandments. But they've taken up Islam. That's why they're suffering so. They haven't returned. That still doesn't take away the fact that some of them, maybe even most of them, maybe all of them, come from the ancient bloodline that goes back to Yisharel. That's what qualifies you to become a saint. Revelation chapter 17, verses 14 to 16. Revelation means the unveiling. Verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb. Who are these? The 10 kings? The 10 nations that have aligned themselves with Muhammad bin Salman? America's in the region also. And the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords. Lord means owner. Yeah. So that means he's the land lord. So the Lamb, whose name is Yahusha, is the landlord and King of kings. Our king shall be over all the other kings. He shall reign over the kings of the earth. There's 12 kings in the region, 12 Islamic kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Yahusha's coming back with the 144,000. What nation are they from? Are they Europeans? No. Are they the African nations? No. Are they the Asian nations? No. Who are they? 12,000 of each tribe from the children of Yesharel. They shall return with the Mashah, who is the landlord, who is King of kings, and shall destroy all of his and our enemies. They are called, chosen, and faithful, the children of Yesharel. Verse 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sits. Where does the whore sit? In that great city are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. They have to come here and circumambulate around the Kaaba. Kishwa, they say. We dress the Kaaba. It's a big ceremony. The finest robes. Gold, pure gold letters. In it, the words of blasphemy. And all of the peoples and multitudes and different nations and tongues that are Islamic have to come before her. Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, the ones that align themselves with Muhammad bin Salman, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Why would they turn on the great city? Why would they turn upon the place where the whore sits? Why would they burn her with fire? This is Mecca, you know. Mecca's in Saudi Arabia. If they turn against the whore that sitteth in this great city, and hate her, make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh, and then burn her with fire, they've turned against Saudi Arabia. Verse 17. For the Mighty One hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. Who's in control? And to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, Muhammad bin Salman, until the words of the Mighty One shall be fulfilled. I've looked through the prophecies. Every one that I've read has been fulfilled. except for one, still pending, that the saints shall be worn out 3.5 years. Remember, he just put out his hand to bring peace. But it tells you that after this 3.5 years, that the Ancient of Days shall come. His armies, led by Yahusha, to destroy all of his and our enemies. You're a heartbeat away from this day. Verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, Mecca. The great city, the beautiful city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. How does this city reign over the kings of the earth? Religion. Every Islamic nation, even the kings, must come sometime in their life, according to the 5 pillars of Islam, and circumambulate around the Kaaba and go up and down the hill like Hagar did to get water to bring to Ishmael. Religion. Is it over every king on the whole earth? No. Islamic kings. There's 12 kings right there in the region alone. We've identified this beast nation. We don't have a doubt who it is anymore. Everything points to Muhammad bin Salman. And all of the prophecies have been fulfilled. Damascus, the port blowing up in Lebanon, all of the things that are happening in the Middle East or in Jerusalem. We're just waiting for this 3.5 years to be up. Then the kingdom shall belong to the saints. Shalom.